My name is Allison, and this is my new YouTube channel, FibroMIGHTY. I have both fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome, or as it's coming to be known, myalgic encephalomyelitis. There are two goals that I have with this channel. Number one, I want to provide support and encouragement for other people who suffer with chronic pain, chronic fatigue, or any chronic illness. I'm not just about you fibromites or you chronic fatigue sufferers. I want anyone with lupus or rheumatoid arthritis or any of the invisible chronic illnesses to know that I'm here for you. We're out there, we're standing strong, and we're going to break the stigma surrounding our invisible illnesses. I want you to know you're not alone. That's number one. Number two, I want to spread education and awareness to those who don't suffer so that if you know someone in your family, if you have a friend or a coworker who has one of these invisible illnesses, if they've opened up to you, if they've told you that they have one, number one, that means they trust you, and that's a big deal because I know a lot of people with invisible illnesses, chronic illnesses, who don't tell people because of the reaction they get. So if you know someone, I want you to be supportive. I want you to educate yourself. I want you to be aware that there are people around you every day suffering in silence. I want people to be more understanding, and I want to break the stigma. Those of us who suffer with these so-called invisible illnesses have a little bit harder time. If we had something that you could see, if we looked sick, we'd get a little bit more understanding. I don't look sick. I don't act sick for the most part. I don't want to go through life being a drain on people around me. I don't want people to have to make all sorts of special accommodations for me. I just want to go on the way I went on beforehand. That's not exactly possible. I've had to make accommodations and I've had to lower expectations for myself. But I want the world to know that even though we have these chronic illnesses, we're not letting it take us down. As a group I've been a member of on Facebook says, I have this disease, it doesn't have me. We have chronic pain, we have chronic fatigue, we have chronic symptoms. That means daily, people. That means every single day we have symptoms that make it hard for us to do normal everyday tasks. We're getting through it. We're suffering. Know that. But we're trying, and we want to lead lives. We want to do what we do. So having a little bit more understanding for that is definitely a goal for me. I love to spread awareness. I love for people to notice the tattoo I have on my arm that I'll show in another video and talk about. And they say, "Oh, I love your purple butterfly." And I say, "Let me tell you what it means." I love that. I love spreading awareness. I have a lot of friends with chronic illness who won't tell people that they have it. And they love that I'm willing to talk about it. I may be more active and more outgoing and more upbeat than people you know who suffer, but that comes from me being extremely stubborn and me being willing to be open. Not everyone is willing to be open because they've had bad experiences. You know, I have too. A couple months ago, I was in Walmart and an older gentleman in one of the scooters came around the corner and he was struggling with a little bit getting it maneuvered. And I wanted to accommodate and make sure he could get to what he needed to get to, or if I needed to reach something for him, I had made the offer. I reached out to be understanding of whatever his situation was. And I told him, I get it. Those things are terrible. I've had to ride them a few times myself because of my fibromyalgia. And his reaction was, "Oh, fibromyalgia, that's that thing that everyone has, right? If they can't figure out what's wrong with you, they just tell you you got that. It's one of those kind of made up diseases." I have never wanted to throat punch an old man before. Okay, that's not true. But for this particular reason. And I just sort of said, no, it's not really a made up thing. A lot of people do have it, and sometimes it is misdiagnosed because the symptoms are similar to other things like Lyme disease. But that doesn't mean it's not real. And I stopped offering help and I sort of left the aisle. These are the kind of situations that I want to avoid. These are the kind of situations I want to make disappear. I want people with chronic illness to be able to be open and honest and not feel guilty that they can't do all the things. Because let me tell you, there is so much guilt that goes along with chronic illness. So not only do you have chronic pain, chronic fatigue, or whatever your chronic symptoms are, you're also dealing with a whole lot of guilt, especially if you're a mom and you're thinking, I can't do the things with my kids that I feel like I should be doing. Think about that. Not only do I have a level 3 pain, that's my normal everyday pain level on a scale of 10, is a 3. That's my acceptable pain level. And I have it pretty much every day. And then I have the guilt that just layers on top of it like the frosting on a cake. I can't do the housework I want to do. I can't do the activities I want to do. Maybe when my kids were younger, I couldn't run around and pick them up and throw them around and do all those kind of things that I wanted to do with my little boys. Because I know my limitations. And I do a lot more than some people expect for someone with my chronic illnesses. But that doesn't mean that we're all the same. We all have our limitations. We all have to draw the line, and we all have to learn where we need to stop ourselves before we pay the penalties. So that layer of guilt is always there. If you are a fellow chronic illness sufferer, I get you. I got it. I get it. I understand. If you're someone just looking to gain education and awareness, first of all, thank you. Thank you for being willing to learn, willing to try to understand, and willing to be supportive. I hope my videos help. I hope they spread love and encouragement and awareness, and there will be a few different kinds of videos. There will be videos where I just sort of do a day in the life. Here's what's going on with me. I'll do videos that explain my diagnoses, that explain my methods of dealing with my illnesses. I'll do educational and awareness-based videos. And I'll probably do some cooking videos too, because I'm a big fan of cooking. And one of the things I've had to do, kicking and screaming, is go gluten-free. And I'm very not happy about that because my favorite foods are gluten-based. So I try to find ways to make my favorite foods, like chicken fingers, gluten-free. So I'll do some videos on some of the recipes I've kind of finagled to make really acceptable substitutes. My chicken fingers are a big one. Nobody I've given them to ever suspected they were gluten-free. They're that good. So I hope you'll follow along. I hope you'll hit like. I hope you'll subscribe. And I hope you'll spread the love and awareness for those with chronic illness. So to all of you who are like me, keep up being FibroMIGHTY.